Tax Tip Tuesday, brought to you by Stadler Company, the tax pros.
It's Tax Tip Tuesday. Lori's here to talk taxes, and today we are jumping into the subject of filing status, because there's a lot of different ways that you can file your taxes and claim yourself as something completely different in every single one of those. So when we talk about filing status, why is it so important to have this discussion of which way to file, really?
Well, first of all, you want to protect yourself, and secondly, you want to make sure that you're getting the best deduction for you. Yeah.
Important information.
Save you the money.
Save you the money. All right. Well, you want to just jump right in?
Let's jump in.
Okay.
All right. So head of household is the one where there's probably the most confusion. And a lot of people think if I am the head of my household, you know, I'm the primary breadwinner, then I'm the head of household. But in order to file that way with your taxes, you have to have a child, a qualifying child on your tax return.
So no kids, no filing as head of household.
That's right.
Are there any other filing statuses that require you to have kids as well?
The qualifying surviving spouse is the same way. So if your spouse passed away for the next 2 years, you can file this way. And it's the same as married filing joint for the deductions, but again, you have to have a qualifying child on there.
Okay,
Yeah.
So if your kids are older and they're on their own, too bad.
Right. You're not going to file that way.
Not going to file that way. Let's talk about married filing jointly and married filing separately.
So typically, married filing jointly is going to be the best way 99% of the time if you're married. But there are reasons that you might want to file separately. For instance, if your spouse owes back child support or has back loan payments for school or something that's going to get offset and the IRS is going to keep the money, filing separate to protect yourself just might be a good way to do it. Right.
Okay. Yeah. Are there other reasons to file separately?
Occasionally we see that if there's a big diversity in the earnings of the two spouses, that it might be better off to file separately. But like I said, most of the time that's not the case.
So these are the kinds of things, though, that you should discuss with a tax professional. Because if you're trying to do this stuff on your own and you pick A and you should have picked B, you may end up paying more in the long run.
That's exactly right. And that's why we talk about these, is because there's not one size fits all for every person, and we want to do what's best for each individual taxpayer.
Here's a question for you. If you file incorrectly, can you get in trouble for that too?
You can. If there's an audit, they're going to assess you lots of penalties for doing something wrong. So you want to try to do it right and make sure that you're not overclaiming anything.
Got it. Yeah. And if you do have kids, I assume the list then becomes longer when you're filing status. Like, I'm guessing there's a lot of things that go into the kid part too.
There are. So a qualifying child has a particular, you know, there's different tests you have to meet in order to be a qualifying child. And you can have other dependents that are not a qualifying child, but there's a specific list. Yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now, it all gets very confusing to me. When you come here, I oftentimes think, oh yeah, I've got this subject, I know how this works, and then she starts talking and I'm like, went right over my head again. But this is why you're here.
Right.
Right now, people can check in with you to make appointments, and I assume you're very busy at this time of the year.
We are swamped right this minute. Still some openings in there, but it's definitely a good time to call if you've got questions.
Or scan the QR code right there on your screen, because that's going to take you to their website, which is
StadlerTax.com.
And at StadlerTax.com, you can find all their locations around the Wabash Valley. You can find those important phone numbers, and you can even find some helpful information. You guys do a great job of kind of listing some of that right there on the website too. So
thanks.
Well, we appreciate your time, Lori. StadlerTax.com for more information, and of course tune in next week. More tax tips for you during this tax season. Stay with us. We'll be right back.